I guess our 5-year plan is just to keep pushing each other, but what we talk about all the time is don't get content, you know? No matter where you are, no matter what you do after high school, no matter what you do, one of the other big things that I've learned is just always push yourself to be better. I've learned so much about support and sacrifice. Like, we have to support each other, even if that means that it's sacrificing a part of our own goals, you know, in the future when we have children way down the line.
Next
It'll
year.
be about them. No,
I'm
not
talking
next
way
year.
down the line.
Yeah, couple years.
Yeah.
I did just wake up at 3 in the morning this morning, so I'm a bit tired. This is my second cup of coffee, but we're still going to get into this week's episode in 1 second. That is super good. As always, guys, you're listening to The Growing Up Show. This is a podcast where I have guests on and we talk about combating the fear of being successful later in life and also the growing up stage. For the past few years, I've been really thinking about how lucky I am to be who I am and to be put in the situation that I'm in, and I'm trying to worry about, like, how would I be able to do this all by myself, or is there something else that's kind of pushing me? And if that's the case, then, like, how do I balance that? It's soothing to realize that you're not the only one faking it till he makes it, and that a lot of people in the world just are kind of clueless as to where they're going in life. Anyways, this week I have Zach Raham on. He's actually a recent friend of mine. We first met this past I guess a year ago or so. Lightly got in touch with him, but then the first real time we got to hang out was we play frisbee every summer. My friends from high school and I we play frisbee out in Clarendon, the track and field, and it's always a blast. It's the first time I really got to hang out with him then, and then the second time a few months ago, we got to have breakfast with him and his fiance, who we talk about in this episode, and it was a blast. And it was so funny because one of my best friends, she actually joined the Navy. She was saying, you have to meet him because you guys are so alike, and we finally did. And yeah, he's a very nice guy, and we just kicked it off right from there. So she definitely wasn't wrong. It's a good friendship to have. So what we talk about in this episode is how he was able to see the silver lining in his parents' divorce. So it was an interesting concept when he brought it up, is that, you know, it's stigmatized having a divorce, and rightfully so, but he was able to see it as he had two pairs of strong parents rather than just one. Does that make sense? Pairs of parents. We touch on his finance degree and also talk about how to refinance, or how he kind of refinanced his income to fit around his college debt. And the last two important things, which go hand in hand, which is what the meat of this podcast, this episode is about, is towards this last half, is putting his fiance first and support and sacrifice. So we're talking a lot about marriage in this episode, and that's something that I'm really happy that we did, because that's something that's been on my mind for a good few months, really, honestly. And the idea of sacrificing your own personal goals and passions to put your fiance first, to put someone else before you, and that's what kind of marriage is kind of built on. It's not just take the love, but also to give the love. And the book I keep referencing, and I think I've done it in a couple episodes already, but a good friend here, Connor, he recommended this book to me. He let me borrow this while I was at NTC this past year and this past summer, and since this video I've finished it, and it's a really good book. It's a good read, and I'm glad I got to read it. It's called The Meaning of Marriage by Timothy Keller. I know I'm not going to do this book justice, but I genuinely enjoyed reading it, and it gave me a lot of insight as to what a marriage is, and it's going to make me a better person when I hopefully someday start working with a relationship and finding the love of my life. But I would like to read a few paragraphs from this book just to give you more of a sense of what it's about, but I'll say that towards the end of the video once you've already listened to it. Guys, welcome Zach Raham to the podcast, and I hope you enjoy this week's episode. Enjoy. And I just hit the record button on the audio, so that should be recording us.
We are a go.
Yeah. What? Alright, just keep an eye on those red dots. I mean, I'll do it.
Oh, wait, yeah. Do I see that? Oh, okay.
Very small, like that. Yeah, that one sucks.
Gotcha.
Alright, audio levels are feeling good.
They're feeling juicy. That might be too loud.
Sounds nice.
Yo. Alright. And by now, I would have had an intro about you already. So,
Okay.
And then at this point, we're just going to hop in it whenever we feel most comfortable. But I'm going to do another intro for you. So I just like to beat a dead horse already.
How's that gonna be?
I was also thinking about getting like a fourth camera just up in the corner, like a very extremely wide. I think that would be super cool, but I haven't done that yet.
That would be neat.
Alrighty. Welcome to the show, everyone. My name is Michael LaVan. You're listening to the Growing Up Show, a podcast where we talk about... Let me actually scroll down here. I have this written down. This is a podcast because I forget what we're talking about, actually. So this is a podcast where we talk about becoming adults and learning to overcome the fear of not being successful. We're finding comfort in the fact that no one has it all figured out. So this kind of came by me when I'm just like walking through life. I'm like, am I the only one like faking it till he makes it sort of deal? I was just talking to Zach here before we started about that. And I think I'm definitely not the only one. There's a lot of people who also not sure where they're going. They don't know. They don't have a 5-year plan, and that's something I'm trying to be more mindful of, is having like a 5-year plan. But even that, like, you can't really plan for 5 years ahead, because 5 years ago I could not imagine being where I am right now. But today I would like to say good friend. I'm going to say good friend, even though we hung out like twice. So once was like in Frisbee, and I almost forgot about that time. And then the last time was like a couple weeks ago when we were having breakfast with you and your fiance.
That's right. Yeah.
So welcome everyone, Zach Graham.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So Zach, the way I like to structure this out is talk about who you are right now as a person. So
Okay.
then we can go back through your whole like kind of growing up story from like high school or any time that's like significant. So like for me, it's like, so my name's Michael. I'm here. I like art, making videos, and I'm in the Army. And then I go back through high school and seeing like how it kind of pieced together, because not everyone has life all figured out, and it's nice to know, like, has that reassurance of like, you feel like you're not going anywhere or it's not doing anything that applies to you, but maybe it really is. You just, hindsight's 20/20. So
Right.
So Zach, who are you right now?
So right now I am I'm just
Nervous?
yeah, little.
It's like-
I'm trying to think of the best way to word it, I guess. I am first and foremost a fiance, gearing up for a wedding. So that's really focusing a lot of my time. But right now I like sports, I like movies and TV, and I just try to work hard. And
Absolutely.
right now I'm just sort of laying the foundation for that 5-year plan that you were talking about, that nobody knows if it's going to actually
Right.
come true.
What do you do right now? Like, where do you work? You went. Did you already graduate college?
Yeah, I graduated from Clarion with a degree in corporate finance.
Okay.
So right now I'm a personal loan specialist at a financing company, a lending company, I guess. So I just I take applications and try to find the right loans for the right people. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Did you always know that? Like, did you see yourself doing that when you went through college, or what?
No, I definitely see myself as more of an analytic kind of guy, if I can get the word out right.
Yeah.
Definitely more behind the scenes rather than sort of like the front lines of where I'm at right now. I'd rather be sort of running stuff in the background.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Did you like? You always knew that you were gonna go to college though, or?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I always knew I was gonna go to college just because I don't think I had a good reason to. I think it was just because all my friends were gonna go, so I was like, okay, well,
it
I'm
seems
gonna
like it's
go.
just like the natural, like you just have to, like everyone's.
Yeah.
But then again, it's so weird because then after you get through it, then everyone starts saying you didn't have to.
Yep.
So it's like a kind of healthy balance. Like, okay, what's the answer? Since I went for art, I know a lot of people say like, oh, you don't have to go to college for art, which is true. But then there's some things. There's always good things out of that you can learn. And a lot of people are probably cringing right now, like, oh, I'm going for art. Oh my gosh. But it's something that I was passionate about, and I couldn't see myself going for anything else. So I went for art. It's so funny how things just kind of work out because, now I'm still living in Clarion. It's my hometown. I love it, and being able to like have my own place, be able to work on like videos and whatnot on the side, and also have a job and being able to support myself is also pretty great.
Yeah.
So kind of, do you have like a similar story with that, or?
I mean, when I went to college, like I said, I went just because I thought that was, what we were supposed to do. That was the answer. And I went for business because I thought it would be really easy. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And then I settled on finance just because I like numbers and analytics and stuff. So, I mean, right now I'm living in Williamsport, so we moved from our hometown.
Mm-hmm.
And we like it, but
how far away is Williamsport from here?
From Clarion, it's like 2.5 hours.
Okay.
So.
All right. So it's probably like 150 miles, 180 miles.
Sure.
Somewhere. Yeah.
Haven't checked it out yet. But,
yeah. There's always like two different ways to like remember how far away something is, either by time or distance.
Yeah.
And I usually do the time, but sometimes yeah, that's interesting because now I just spaced, but I was gonna steamroll off of something you just said. I did this in every episode. It's probably gonna be like episode 20 before I figure out how to keep like a question in my head long enough. But we'll just continue on, I guess. Charlie Mike it. Anything else significant right now besides you're working, then you have you went through college and
yeah, I'm working. I went through college and I still sort of I'm trying to figure out, exactly what I want to do.
Does your job, does it fall right in line to what you went to college for, your major?
There is, right now I'm in sort of an entry level spot, but
okay.
There is definitely ways in the company that I'm with to get into where I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
There are definitely
how far
avenues.
of a reach did your major kind of cover? Because I know it's like with art you can go like graphic design, painting, like advertisement. Just like it's a wide range, and then same like I'm sure that's same with like most majors.
Yeah, and I mean it's a really wide range. I mean I think my specific like degree in concentration I think was only a couple classes different from just a marketing or I don't even know what else, economics. There was a lot of stuff that the business school encompassed, so I have a pretty wide variety of things that I could do. So
right, yeah. I think that's what I was saying earlier was like you're saying business, and if I was to ever go for like my master's in something, I'd probably be business because at some point I would like to like have my own business, like run my own like company sort of deal, like a film or video production company, or at the very least just freelance. But it'd be nice to have. I've heard like it's better to have like a company, like a name. Like people like prefer to hire companies than just names, like people. So
right.
It's like, oh, you're Adidas or Nike. It's like you're not just like Joe Schmo over there. He's like selling shoes. Yeah, they want like a figure, a public figure.
Yeah.
So that seems pretty like kind of walk you who you are right now. So that's good. Now let's kind of go back and walk through whatever time you think in like high school or even I don't know how early or how late, but then start like kind of seeing like hitting all the points of like, oh, I can see how I ended up here because I like kind of going through that and showing people that you might have had like a drastic, like the polar opposite of what you ended up doing. You might have been like, I don't know, you might have been like at a farm pitching hay and stuff, and it's like now you're just like an accountant or whatever. But let's go with that.
So I know that one thing, this is way before high school, but one thing that definitely shaped who I am is a divorce. My parents went through a divorce when I was younger, and it was like a cross country divorce. Like when they divorced, we moved here from Dallas, Texas. So having a lot of family in a lot of different areas and having extended families with like step families and stuff, that's definitely helped shape me, because without my stepdad and stepmom and their families, I would be, totally different. Who knows where I'd be.
Okay, so, yeah. So you're still able to make things work out with finding the silver lining between.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
That's great.
It was definitely blessing and I guess curse. So it was definitely.
So yeah, that's a coincidence that you like bring that up, because my buddy Connor, he just let me borrow a book, The Meaning of Marriage, and it's the author he's a Christian and stuff, so it has he brings that side of marriage into it, and like the history behind that, and that's something I've been thinking about recently. It's like, and you're about to get married here,
Yeah.
so that is this, and that's something I'm really looking forward to, is finding like a companion, a person who I want to spend my life with, and it's nice to think about. And even despite divorces and stuff, still able to have like you almost have two like strong families and stuff.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And I think another huge part of who I am today is definitely my fiance. We've been together for 5 years, and I mean, I can't think of myself without her. So she's definitely helped shape me and put me on a path that I think is making me a better person. So I think she's helping out in that way.
So what you're saying is you're holding her back.
Yes, I am. Yep, I definitely settled.
Like,
All right, I did not settle. She settled. I reached.
Oh,
yeah.
You're gonna marry up.
Yep, I am marrying up for
Like,
sure.
we had a teacher in high school who always said that's like, guys, and he's always talking to the guys, you want to marry up. Yeah. So.
Yeah, she's pretty great. So.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But so the divorce definitely gave me a lot of different points of influence, I think. Movie recording has been
Boom,
stopped.
yes.
Okay.
So
we're
with the magic man, it'll stop for 1 second, but then it'll keep pick it back up.
Okay,
so that's
cool.
Good. Nice.
So the divorce has made has given me some different people that influenced me that I wouldn't have had otherwise. So in that aspect, I'm thankful. And then I switched schools, and I think that in high school I was sort of I just wanted to blend in.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to do enough work to get by and blend in, because switching schools in like that 6th grade range.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine like moving schools. Like that was one thing. Like that was like one of the biggest fears growing up. Like, I can't imagine moving. But then again, it's like you have those people who move around all the time, and they turn out to be just fine. It's when you're older, you don't really worry about that so much, and then you look back. Like I was just driving yesterday. It's like, I wouldn't mind moving around. Yeah, I would. When I was younger, I would have. Like now, it's just like actually been nice to get more exposure, seeing new people, different faces. Just because then you start learning. I mean, if you just hold yourself up, then it's not gonna help you. But if you like learn how to be more just like social with people, it's put yourself like forward. Like just being able to talk to people is a huge skill to have.
Yeah, I mean, when I moved, it wasn't like a very far move. I just switched schools, and it was like from Brookville to Clarion Limestone. It was only a few miles, but it was just so different. And at that age and my personality, it just took me a little while to really find a rhythm and make friends, and become, I don't know, I'm pretty talkative now. So
Would you have any tips for people who are like, maybe there's listeners out there who and they're younger and they're moving around? Is there any tips for like going to a new place and you need to make some friends, or you just need to be not weird?
So for me, I've always been able to talk. Even when I moved, I was able to talk to people, but I never really had friendships. I just had people that I would talk to on the bus or at lunch, Okay. And I think what I learned was that through sports, I started playing basketball late into high school, but not ever very good at all at basketball. But playing basketball helped me to forge like better relationships with my friends and make new friends and just have some more confidence in myself to make more long-lasting friendships. And I think that really helped. And I wish I would have started younger, because when I first moved there, I wasn't about that. I was like,
sports or
I'm
anything?
just gonna I was like, I'm just gonna blend in.
Yep, me too.
I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna come to school and go home. And I think when the older I was getting, I was like, okay, I need to do this because I think it'll help me. And it did. It really did. I mean, it made me fall in love with sports just in general, and then the friendships that I've made are forever. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember when I was growing up, but I never was into sports or anything. Way too small to play football or anything like that. But at some point, I was like, man, I think it was like 10th grade. I was like, I need to do some sport. So by the time I graduate, I can actually like say that I did. I thought that'd be something I'd regret. I mean, this is just small stuff, but I was like, yeah, I'm going to. So I picked up track and field 10th grade year. And then 11th and 12th grade, I kept track and field, but 11th grade, I also did cross country. So 2 years of cross country, 3 years of track and field, and it was good. Even though I was completely like the person who probably wouldn't fit into like this like that locker room crowd and stuff. Especially our track and field is practically just the whole football team, so I didn't really fit in at the first year, maybe two, but by the senior year and stuff, it was, I was kind of with the guys and stuff. Still like kind of polar opposites, as like I wasn't like doing that whole like locker room talk and whatnot. I just wasn't too aggressive in high school. But now when you get older, you kind of get more aggressive in certain ways. Yeah.
And I actually like it's sort of similar to that. Like when I started getting interested in basketball, it was like I think it was 10th grade, and so it was like for varsity, and we were practicing over the summer right before the season or whatever, and it came down to it. It was like they're gonna have to make a couple cuts,
Mm-hmm.
and I just like wasn't aggressive enough. I just sort of said, oh well, if they're making cuts, it's gonna be me, so I'm out. Like I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll try again some other time. And I wish I wouldn't have done that, because I really did. I just sort of quit, and I learned a lot from that, because I wish I wouldn't have. And it would have, I think it would have definitely made me a little bit of a better player for sure. But quitting that year was sort of like a big regret that I have from high school. I wish I wouldn't have done that.
Right.
Yeah,
like, you take that to the real world, and you go into your job, and it's like when you make some cuts, like I guess if no one else is volunteering, I will.
Yeah.
It's like you just lost your job.
Yeah.
Like, whoops. Yeah.
Oh, you mean in an interview you're choosing between me or somebody else? I'll bow out. They can
Yeah.
have
He's
it.
a pretty
Yeah.
nice guy.
Yeah.
She's smart. She's more qualified than me. So, yeah.
Yeah,
You'd
that's
be
how
an
it
idiot
went.
to pick me. Yeah. Well, thanks for having me. Walks off. But man, so and then moving on. So now we're what? We're in like 11th, 12th grade
Yeah.
era. And then when did you start thinking about college? So
I guess I started thinking about college probably 11th grade was when I was like, okay, what am I gonna do? I thought about either college or some branch of the military, and I settled on college because that's what all my friends were doing, and it was definitely a peer pressure decision, which I shouldn't make those anymore, and I haven't made one in a while or anything, but I definitely did then, and I chose college. I wanted to go far away, and then I decided not to. I'd like to save the money, so I stayed home and went to Clarion, and I loved it. It didn't feel like I was in Clarion when I was on campus in class and stuff. Like I felt independent and removed from the hometown part of it. But yeah, that I think 11th grade just sort of made me realize I got to do something. I'm not gonna do nothing. So figured I'd go into college and see where that took me.
did you have an idea as to what you were going to try to pursue in college at that time in 11th grade? Because I know my 11th, 12th grade, even that summer before you actually go to college, like, what am I gonna do?
No, I mean, in 11th grade was probably when I knew it was going to be either business or history. I had a big interest in history. I loved my history classes in high school, and I think that there was there wasn't as many things I could go into, I guess, with that I would enjoy. So that's why I ultimately sided with the business. But that was probably, I probably knew I was going business undecided the summer before senior year, I think was when I knew, just a matter of where. And then senior year was when I decided Clarion instead of, I don't even know, I had a couple schools on there. That,
Right?
Yeah.
That's one thing I thought I had an advantage of with other people. It's like, so, it's laughed at that people like shouldn't go to school for art, but that's what I did. So I have a bachelor's in art. And obviously a lot of the stuff as far as like video production, video editing, even like photography, like that's all, I'm all like self-taught in that sense. So I guess technically it's like, you didn't really need it, but, I have no regrets obviously, but we have, what was I saying? I had a good point. But then going into college, a lot of people were just like going undecided. They didn't like undecided. And I felt so good. Like that one guy, it's like everyone like scoffs at you, like, oh, you're going for art. It's like, hey, at least I know what I'm going for. I'm going for art, and you're undecided. But you still have this time, like that first like year and a half, 2 years of just doing like gen eds until you're, in the in the mindset of like what you want to do or what you're going to try to pursue and stuff like that. Would you choose college again? I know you said you were peer pressured into it, but like in the end, like hindsight, what do you think about it?
I think I would. I mean, the only other thing I would do would be some sort of military service. I've always felt the need to serve others, and I still think I would side with college first, and pursue some sort of service later.
Okay.
If that's the
I'd say the same, or even like the same time. So like with like National Guard or even like Air Guard, you'd be able to serve part time and go to college. And there'd be something to be said about going to the service first and then college. A lot of people don't like the idea because then you're a little older. But then that's exactly the advantage that you have. You're a little older and you know what you want to do with life. Because after 4, 5, 6 years of serving, doing like, yes, you chose to do that, but that's not gonna be defining who you are. It's not what you want to do with your life. You know what I mean?
Right.
Unless that is, then you have like a career in the armed forces. But I know a lot of people. You're overseas. Oh, it sucks. It's hot. You're away from family. You're away from friends. You start figuring out like, oh, I enjoy this. I can't wait until I'm able to do that. So you have an idea of what you want to do. Think about like you have more time to think about what you want to pursue. And so
I think I would definitely still choose college again first, over any type of service. I was able to serve with AmeriCorps during school, so that wasn't obviously like the anything like the Army or the Guard or anything like that, but it was helping some people out and giving my time to something bigger than myself. And I did that during school for a couple years, and that was a good time. That helped.
Yeah,
helped me
absolutely.
get through. Yeah.
Did you stick with any sports or anything in college, or did after high school that kind of died off?
No, I really I played pickup basketball at the rec.
Yeah. I always like play like racquetball and ultimate frisbee. But that one time I said we met the first time was ultimate frisbee.
Yeah.
So that's so great to have a group of friends to do like recreational sports.
Yeah, I was staying active, I guess, but I wasn't new. I was definitely not good enough to do anything full time.
Right. Even as we're talking here, I'm like, I haven't gone to the gym for the past 2 weeks. I finally got that into a habit, but I haven't, and trying to pick up running again. So I might go on a run later today. So
it's good. It's hot out.
I'd have to say that just so it looks like I'm like really
I'm not running later. But yeah, I didn't stick with anything organized in college, but I did. Organized as in like we played every day at the same time. That was organized, but it was just for fun. Just for pickup, and it was a good time.
Did you ever have any like doubt going while you're through college? Like, wow, why am I going to college or anything like that?
Every single class. I have a lot of interests, I guess. So I was constantly like debating myself whether or not I made the right decision with finance. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And especially when they throw you into all those gen ed courses for those first 2 years. I either really enjoyed them and I was like, whoa, maybe I should have done this, or I really hated them and I was like, college is the stupidest thing in the world. This is a waste of time. And that was like every class, if I was in a history class that year, I'd be like, oh, I really like this. Why am I doing business? Or if I was in earth science, I was like, why am I here? Like 3 hours of my week are sitting in this class listening to this and I don't care at all.
Right. Yeah.
And so I was constantly trying to decide if I was in the right place. And I think that is a good, as it might sound bad, but I think it's good that you're constantly evaluating whether or not you are where you want to be. And even if you go in as art, and you know what you want to do, if 2 years in you're like, I can't see it, then, if you can't, then you can't. You just got to switch, and that's what it has to be. Mm-hmm. But you have to make that choice and constantly decide for yourself. So
right. I can imagine like going like 2 years and then like, I need to switch. But we have a lot of people. There'll be a lot of people switching, and like super seniors and stuff. People who are like still in, like not having figured it out yet. I'm like, no. That's where that having like maybe even a gap year. Like, I couldn't see myself doing that when I was younger, because like you get in this mindset like college is the same thing as high school, where you don't want to get held back
You
in a
have to
sense.
go,
You
yeah.
have to stick with your class grade. But that's not the case at all.
No.
You're after high school. Anything you do now is just bettering yourself as you want to do to better yourself as a person.
Mhm.
And so it's like, I want to go to college for me. It's not because like it's a requirement or anything. It's I'm going to go to better myself. But if you're a person who's like, I don't know what I want to do, perhaps taking a gap year is like a good thing. I mean, since I actually had to go through AIT between my senior year of high school and college, my freshman year of college. And that kind of interfered with my timing of going into college. So I was a semester late already. I don't think that helped me at all as far as like understanding what I wanted to do. But I'm not sure if I was too aware at that point either about like what do I do. I think I just had my mindset on art. So if you have your mindset on something, it kind of gets rid of that. But if you don't know what you want to do, taking some time off and really thinking about get a job, I hear a lot of people say that works too.
Yeah, I think a gap year would be good if you have a lot of different things that you're thinking about. But like even then, it was college when it was the classes that sort of made me think like maybe I'm not doing what I want to be doing. And even now, like I have this degree in finance, and I'm not like I love it. I love like I told you earlier, I like the analytical side of it. I like looking at the numbers and making sense of them. But I
just have to check the cameras every once in a while just to make sure we keep going.
I just every once in a while I'm like, well, maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe I should have done something with history or something like that. But it's even now, like I've graduated, I've been out of school for a year. I can still, if I in 3 years decide, wow, this finance thing isn't really what I thought it was for me. It's it's not working that way. Maybe I want to go back and do something else before all my credits expire or something. And like, that's fine too. I mean, I'm leaving everything open, and I'm blessed to have the family and support that I have that would support that decision. They'd be like, yeah, go for it, So
Mm-hmm.
I don't see myself doing that, but I think that I'm leaving that open. So
Absolutely. This is something I always forget about. Like, since I joined the National Guard, they cover 100% tuition in like state schools and stuff. So I didn't have to worry about graduating with any debt or anything. How is someone, like, since you're not in the service, you didn't go join the National Guard or anything, how did you like kind of take care of like the balance or something, like loans or something? How does that work?
Oh yeah, I financed a lot. I'm in a lot of debt. It was a very expensive 4 years, but as soon as I got out, I just refinanced to get it done as soon as possible. And that's just sort of my philosophy, I guess, with that, is just to don't drag it out, don't throw it in deferment, just live like nobody else today so that you can live like nobody else tomorrow, or however that goes. Like, you got to make the sacrifices today to be where you want to be tomorrow. And I finance, and I'm paying above and beyond what I need to be paying for them every month. But
So you're trying to chisel away at it faster.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was through school. My mother kept warning me. She's
Mm-hmm.
like, you have no idea, like, what this is going to be like when you graduate. And my excuse was, everybody does it, and
they do.
And where I was going wasn't as expensive as a lot of other schools. So I was like, I justified it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got out, and I'm refinancing and stuff, and I'm looking at the prices every month. I'm like, oh my gosh, and the interest rates and all that.
Right.
And I'm like, oh.
Do you budget your finances at all?
Oh yeah.
So that's something I need to do. And I was super close to getting like budgeting and actually like having a budget for like how often I can go out and eat, for gas. So like Connor, my roommate, he budgets a lot. And he's very well organized, and he like 3 different occasions he's like, hey, you should probably do this, and like he's helped me like get me in the right direction. I even downloaded like apps for it. And but I just never stick with it. I'm kind of in that mindset. It's like whatever. Like I'm gonna hit some Chinese food again, 5th time today, 5th time this week. But
I don't think I'm like an Excel wizard, but I love getting on and making spreadsheets about everything in life. And
I need to start
budgeting.
I didn't use Excel, but like even like Google Sheets or something.
Yeah.
It's literally the same thing. Like I want to start like I was gonna watch YouTube videos on like how to use Excel or Google Sheets as like next level stuff, because it's like actually I do have that. I have right here. I have it.
Oh, yeah,
it says
you do.
podcast. If I open that up, I think I have your name there somewhere. Yeah,
Ooh.
right there. So I have my podcast, guest, date, day, time, Zach. Get your guest date 6:15. Oops, shouldn't say that because then people can realize, wait, he recorded this 5 months ago. Gosh dang. And today is Sunday, so
Yeah. I love spreadsheets, and I like the budgeting because it, on one hand, it's like it shows you how much you spend on stuff that you really don't need to spend, but on the other hand, if you do it right, it can show you like, okay, I got this. Like, you know what you need to do, you got the plan, and no matter your income, no matter your expenses, you can just have a better understanding, and the more you understand something, the less you fear it, right? So
that's I think that's the reason why I don't want to come and realize like I spent $200 on Chinese food. What? So or even like so but having like maybe like having the budget, it's definitely because I've gotten pretty close to doing it, and just even getting like close to budgeting, like even a few things, you can really feel more secure about like where your money's going. And if you know where your money's going, it's just it's better. My gosh, why is that switching sides on me? That's all right. So
oh wait, that one did it too. Actually.
Oh, we're just flipping out because our LCD screens are like flipping the image horizontally, which is weird. But I read a book senior year of college. I think it's How to Be an Artist Without Losing Your Mind, Money, or Yourself, or something like that. I forget. But and we all made fun of it because only the first 5 chapters, like, they were really helpful, and afterwards was like, I feel like the publisher was like, all right, we need to squeeze some more pages out of this to make it like a bigger. So it just kind of got redundant and like less important. But like the first couple chapters, we talked about like budgeting and being able to actually see, like, you don't realize what we're talking about until you actually do it, but you actually see where your money's going, and that, oh, so you're making a net positive, and you can be assured that you're going the right direction.
And sometimes, even though you're making a net positive, it can feel like you're spending more than you are every month, and that's why you need to budget, so you can find like, okay, if I'm budgeting and I should be making a net positive of X amount of X dollars a month, like, why do I have negative X dollars a month? Like, where am I putting this?
Yeah.
And if you can find that, then you'll just feel more confident. And with money, I think it's just understanding and confidence that'll help you out. So,
do you do any like investing or anything?
A little bit. Right now, I'm saving for a wedding and a trip to Italy. So,
oh yeah,
yes. Most of our excess in the budget is going towards that, and trying to do that in the right way, because as important as it is to save, my fiance and I have both talked about how important it is to have the experiences that we want to have, and that takes some from the budget. So
absolutely,
we do have a couple of stuff we're working on there investment wise, but I don't do like individual stocks or anything.
Right. Even like what you're talking about there, like your honeymoon stuff and your wedding, like you're reinvesting in yourself and stuff. It's like you just make money just to like
set on
like,
it.
Just then what's the the point of money is to like reinvest in yourself and be able to live life and experience something new.
Yeah. Yeah, money's moving. Yeah, that's what you got to do.
And that's one thing I'm always pretty bad at. Like I can never imagine like fathom or justify spending like money on a plane ticket. I was like, I'm not doing that. Like, are you kidding me? It's like, hey, we should like go to Florida. It's like, what? You have to like fly to Florida.
Yeah.
But yeah. But I'm getting better at that. Like, just kind of going out and trying to like really enjoy life. Actually, I'm driving around Pennsylvania a lot for my job, so it's kind of neat to really kind of see the state in like a different sense of going out and actually having to go to this town, that town, and then it's neat having to you start seeing like you start seeing it as a big map of like your state, and like, oh, here's this town, that town, this town, and then you never really get to experience like every individual building or everyone's individual lifestyle. So it's nice to actually be forced into a new building and actually have to wait around for a little bit and see how people like interact in like a courthouse or something, or there's some random diner or something like that in some other distant place in from where you live.
Well, even where like, so when we moved to Williamsport, there is a different, like, it's a different feel out there. It does not feel, it's only whatever we said, like 150 maybe miles. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But there is just a different feel. It's like the people are different. You know, it's not like moving within Pennsylvania. I would have expected there to be more similarities, but I really think there's more differences. Moving to a different part of the state, and that's been an experience.
Would you ever want to live? Have you ever lived in a city, or you ever always lived like small towns?
Always live. Well, I mean, I was born in Dallas, Texas, and lived there, but only for 4 years. So okay. I mean, I don't.
You don't remember any of that? Yeah.
City living does not.
Yeah.
Big city living does not. I don't know, weigh on me at all. I go to Dallas all the time and visit my dad and stepmom, and a lot of my mom's family is still down there. So.
Do you drive or take a plane? No.
Oh, we fly. Most of the time we fly. I mean, I've driven a couple of times, but it's like 24, 25 hours. So.
Right. It's not worth it. Yeah.
No.
Last time we drove, like, I think the furthest distance I ever drove, I don't think I even drove, is my father when he picked me up from, like, basic, but it was Missouri. So it's from Missouri is a full day trip, like 16 hours or 14 hours or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Early morning, late night. So.
Yeah, it's So in Williamsport, I guess Williamsport's definitely the biggest area that I've lived in.
Mm-hmm.
It's the home of the World Series,
right?
The Little League World Series. So I guess that's important. That's a good asterisk there. It's the Little League.
Yeah, yeah. So now, now we're what, in college now? And then you start then you graduate. Were you thinking about So in high school, you're worried about what college you're going to and what you're going to go for. And then in college, usually we're worried about, like, all right, where am I going to work? Where's my job? All of this and that. How did you combat, like, that fear?
So I definitely didn't do it the smartest way in that I just ignored it. I think whenever I waited till the last possible minute to apply, I mentioned I've been with my fiance for 5 years, and she is a genius. She is the most hardworking, intelligent person ever, and she has these. She knew, but she has like these very specific goals that my goals are more down the line, and she had more immediate goals. And so, whenever I was wrapping up with school, I just told her, I said, this is sort of a cop-out answer, but I just said, you have these immediate goals. You get to where you need to be, and I'll just follow you. I was like, I'll figure out something wherever you're at. But we did distance for 4 years in college, so we weren't going to do it after college. So I said, just, there's my cop-out answer, I guess. I just said, you pick, I'll follow. So that's how I sort of combated. I just threw it off on her.
It's like, I'm not going to think about this until after you get your stuff figured out. So that's pretty big of you, though. Yeah, that's something I always worry about, like, because back in the day, you had, man and wife, and then like the mother stayed home with the kids, and then like the father went out and like mined coal or something. Yeah. And then now, like in the 21st century, we have both parents work, and even like I was growing up, my mother stayed home with the kids, but towards like halfway through high school, she started working as well. So I mean, we were all old enough to be on our own anyways, or be at home alone, I should say. So then we started both of them working, and it just seems like that's not a question. I wonder how, like, if that's like the old like way of like men work, women stay home, which is not like, that's not a modern thing anymore. But like, how do, I wonder, women go through life thinking like, am I just gonna be a stay-at-home mom, or do I have to go work as well? Like that'd be a weird thing to think of. We never think about that as guys, I don't think so.
No,
that'd be a good question I need to write down for a guest I have on, a female guest. So
yeah, I know a few women that their idea of a successful life is to be at home, is to stay at home with, and not in some sort of like lazy or anything way.
No, absolutely.
I mean, it's so important to have that kind of structure sometimes, and it just depends on the family. But I know a lot of women that that would rather stay home and take care of the house and take care of the home and the kids and all that, and then and that's a sacrifice for both people. I mean, that's a sacrifice on the male for being working a lot, not being able to see the kids as much, I guess, but it's a sacrifice for her for not wanting to pursue, even though she is deciding she wants to stay home, she probably still has goals that if she was working, she'd want to accomplish.
Right.
So
But it has to be. Yeah, it's a good. If you have like a good, strong like relationship though, and a meaningful, like a marriage that's like grounded in something bigger, being able to be a true companionship, that means a lot. But if you're going to a marriage with like earthly, like a I should say like earthly foundation, where it's like, oh wow, I should have a plan B in case this marriage doesn't work out. Like, whoops, maybe you're not thinking
Maybe
about marriage
that's
the
not-
best way, and that's something like that's what I worry about in the future. It's like you grow up and like my parents were like always married. Like, you know, when I was born, they were married and they're still married, and they just like just healthy relationship. And it's like, I can't wait till I grow up and find the woman of my dreams and stuff like that, and it just works out. It's like,
Yeah.
that's not how it works. It's a lot of work into it, but they made it seem so easy. Like,
yeah,
so-
I think if I could, I don't know, I guess one thing that I've learned in this relationship, if I talk about my fiance a lot and bore everybody that listens to your show, I'm sorry.
Yeah. This show's gonna be called My Fiance.
Yeah, she just shapes everything that I am and makes me want to be better. But I've learned so much about support and sacrifice. Like, we have to support each other, even if that means that it's sacrificing a part of our own goals, because
Absolutely.
we're not my fiance and me. I'm not using her name. I don't know why, but we're not my fiance and me. We're us, and it's more about the collective for us, and then in the future when we have children way down the line,
Next
it'll
year.
be about them. No,
I'm
not
talking
next
way
year.
down the line.
Yeah, a couple years.
Yeah.
But I mean, we talk about it a lot, and it's so important that the discussions that we have makes me a little like emotional, even thinking about how we make each other more mature. I think, like, because we're having these discussions where I'm like, okay, I want to do this, and she's like, no, we're not doing that. And I'm like, okay. But like, I feel like it goes much better than that. We talk about it, and I'm blessed to have her.
No,
We support each other, and we sacrifice for each other, and that's the most important thing I've learned
Absolutely.
ever.
That's
because
well
she's
said.
the rest of my life, and so I think that's definitely the most important thing I've learned, is just support and sacrifice,
Yeah.
no matter what. So
And then the book I'm just reading that I mentioned earlier in this episode, The Meaning of Marriage, which my friend Connor just let me borrow. I'm trying to read more, so yeah. But one of the chapters, it talks about that. It's a relationship where you don't think about like what you can get out of it, but how you can give to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So helping, and the author, his wife also wrote a little bit in the book as well. He says that, I didn't get to that chapter yet, but she wrote a chapter in it. But he says that, I remember one time I felt so justified in my thinking that, like, we were traveling for his like missionary or something like that, and then at this place over in like Europe, there's a bookstore, and he knew that his wife would know that he'd really want to go to it, because he likes books and whatnot, and the whole day he was waiting for her to offer it to him, but she never did, and so he felt like angsty, I should say, or something like that. But it's like, oh, she should know that I would want to. I shouldn't have to ask to go. But at the end of the night, since he was feeling, obviously there was tension there, they talked about it, and it's like, well, you should have asked me to let me serve you, sort of deal. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that, and so it's all about like serving the other, and it's also about helping your spouse serve you in a sense. Like,
Yeah.
So how he says it, like, I should have helped her serve me by saying that I wanted to do this, and it gives her a chance to serve him in the sense that, yeah, you should take the, even though she has to say it and like handle with the kids, like he was helping her with the kids and stuff. So
yeah,
that's neat. It's neat.
yeah, it's taught me a lot about it, and it's shaped, I guess, I mean, since that's sort of the purpose of the show, Madison, even though I was sort of shaped. Oh, I use her name.
Oh,
Whoops.
sure.
Oh, no. Okay. It's out of the bag. It's Madison. She has shaped me even though I thought I was shaped, right? Like I thought I was like, oh, this is the kind of person I'm going to be for the rest of my life. But she's shaped me more, just smoothing out the edges, I guess, making the better parts of me
Take
better.
That file and
yeah.
file roughing off the edges.
Amplifying the better parts of me and making me work on the not so great parts of me. Everybody has not so great parts of them. And,
absolutely, yeah.
And she definitely makes me want to work on those harder than if she wasn't around.
Yeah. Did you date much in high school or anything?
Madison?
No, did you date much in high school? Or because I know like that's something I've dated like one person, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, I should say, and that I guess I've kind of, never was really big into dating. I've had like kind of like one relationship, and then I've gone on like a couple dates, like one-offs sort of deal, but really not like compared to most people. I feel like I haven't like dated at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, how have you done that?
I had one, I guess two, like really serious relationships before in high school, and they were just
High school,
social, high school fun. Just
Is there any merit to dating in high school?
Honestly, not
yeah,
really.
I justified my like lack of dating as in like I was trying to be like self-righteous, be like I'm too good to date in high school. Really, no girl liked me in high school. So like, but is there any merit into? Because like when you like get into a relationship, like I can only imagine dating someone, if I could picture like marrying them. You know what I mean? Like, what's the point other than that? Is it just to have a social like tag?
So
label?
I guess like I thought one girlfriend I had in high school was really serious, but even then, like it was serious in the moment, but then like after, and I was looking back, I was like, it wasn't. Like it was more for the social. And it's funny because after that, when I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna date anymore. Like I'm too good for it, or no girls like me, or whatever it is, and then my fiance, who I will not name again, came along, and I just had to, So I think it was social, and I think that if everybody's honest with themselves, looking back at their high school, unless it's your high school relationship that blossomed into this marriage, the majority of them, I think it was just, especially mine, it was just for social. I mean, it's important to have companionship in high school and have close friends, even if it's romantic. It's all, it's important, but I think that there's like an over seriousness and a lot of them that don't need to be there. You don't need to deal with a bunch of garbage just for,
right,
for something like that. But
absolutely. I feel like we've almost like covered everything now at this point. What's and then we were talking about the fear of like finding a job sort of deal. Did we touch on that then?
I mean, yeah, because I copped out. And, I copped out of that,
which was like really adorable.
Yeah, and even then I was still like, what am I gonna do? Like at the time I had a decent job, but I was like, it's not like viable, Right. I wanted something steadier.
So what's your 5-year plan now?
So I'm working on something that Madison and I aren't really telling a lot of people, so it's sort of secret.
Do you get like a hidden scoop right now? Because this is probably not going to go out for another few months. So
it might be a longer process than that, so I'm going to keep it
come out
secret.
like the next day. Like, Michael, you said you weren't going to get this done yet.
Just have me on again, and I'll tell you. But
Ooh.
I'll tell you, it's hard. It's taken a lot of work, and my fiance is definitely my rock and pushing me towards that, and she's also gone back to school for her master's, so
okay, awesome.
So we're each pushing each other hard, and we actually talked about it just the other day. 5-year plan, we have a couple of goals. Like we want to live in another state at some point soon. We want to experience something different, like a not close state, like far away. We want to we want to experience something different on our
Alaska.
own.
Hawaii.
Not that far.
Right.
But I guess our 5-year plan is just to keep pushing each other. But what we talk about all the time is don't get content. No matter where you are, no matter what you do after high school, no matter what you do or doing in high school, like one of the other big things that I've learned is just always push yourself to be better. You know, I'm in a job right now that I don't love it, don't hate it. I just do it. And I'm pushing myself to be better at that job, even though I know it's not going to be forever. I want to be the best I can be at it. And the better you can be now, the better you can be later, I guess.
It grows like exponentially or something.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's like, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
No, it probably you go and you crash and burn. It's like all this. Yeah, but like, who do you want? Like, so who you want? Like, at the end goal, who you want to be? What do you want to do?
So, the end goal is, in terms of what I'm doing career-wise, not important to me. I just want to be with my fiance, have a solid family, and just be able to support ourselves. That's how I view success. It's not, I don't want to be extravagant, you know, I don't want huge house and new cars and all that. I just want to be with my family and work hard and help others. I just want to be a good person. I think that's, you know, that's just what I don't know. Career-wise, like I said, I've got that one thing I'm working on, which maybe ask me back, you know, once that works out, if it does. But it doesn't matter to me, like, what I'm doing, as long as I'm able to support myself and be with my family. And that's the most important thing. And that wasn't me in college. In college, I was like, nope, I'm going to make the money. I'm going to spend it. I'm going to have fun. But I don't know. That just changed. I want to be with my family. So
Absolutely.
That's my goal.
Well, I would have said that was an awesome answer, but you just like killed like 5 of my questions with that one answer.
Oh, gosh, really?
You hit like 5 stones with one, 5 birds with one stone with that one. Like, what? Oh, there goes that question. Yeah, but no, that's a good answer. I like that.
Okay,
Finding meaning in something like deeper than just physical things, money, and items.
Yeah, I mean, money's important, but money's important in being able to support yourself and make yourself better. If it's not going towards one of those, if it's just because you want a bigger pool than your neighbor, or you know what I mean, like, that's not what I think of money now. I just think of it as being able to being able to support yourself, be with the people you love, and experience stuff, because life is short, as they say.
Yeah, I never heard that one before.
Yeah. Put that on a card.
Yeah, you have to start that. Yeah. Well, do you want to go to our discussion questions?
Yeah, let's do
I feel
it.
like we're at a good point, and now at
It's your show. I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
on it.
Yeah, it's your life. I'm just living it. We have so I have like 16 questions here. I have like 4 of them highlighted. You just answered all 4 of those ones, I think. So
Are you serious?
I'm gonna have to go with the other like 11 unhighlighted, or 15 other highlighted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do what you gotta do. Sorry about that.
Oh, and you probably already answered this. I could probably guess the answer to this one, but who has had the most impact on your life / career, and why?
There's been so many people. Madison.
Oh, dang!
I did it again.
Second time. Not bleeping it out.
My fiance, for sure. And my parents have always been there, but my grandfather showed me. I didn't realize it when he was alive and I was younger, but my grandfather really shaped sort of my value system, and that's what shaped me ultimately, is Madison, and that value system instilled by him through my family. So really a lot of people have had a huge influence, but I guess if I were to name just one, it would be my fiance, who
Nice.
I keep trying not to name.
Yeah. You're doing a horrible job at it.
Yeah,
Actually,
I'm really
I
bad.
thought it was pretty impressive at first. I was like, hey, he's catching himself all this whole time, and then slipped. I wasn't going to say anything, and then you caught it, like, It's awesome.
I just got too casual in here. I was
Yeah.
like, just let myself go.
Like, you weren't lying, Michael, when you said that this is a very casual discussion.
Yeah.
Yep. What gives you purpose?
What gives me purpose?
Should we just copy and paste your previous
Yeah,
answer?
yeah, my fiance.
Bing, bing, bing. Yeah. It's like,
just-
okay, next question. My fiance. Let me stop right there. My fiance.
Yeah, that's,
Mhm.
I mean, but I guess my purpose would be I want to make the world like better, you know, even if it's just my part of the world, even if it's just my,
it's still
even if it's just my home, you know, I just want to improve upon it and always strive for more, I guess. So
absolutely. I'll actually have to read all these questions to find one that you didn't answer.
Oh man, I messed up. I guess I'm not going to be asked back.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. How are you liking the show, by the way, so far?
I like it. I'm having a good time.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like I've never been surrounded by so many cameras.
I know. And we were talking before the show. I was like, I'd actually like to have like a fourth camera up, like real high and very wide, so you have like an aerial view. It'd be kind of cool to cut away to at the end of the show, where it's like, not. I mean, we have this wide angle, but it'd be nice to have like that even higher and wider one. But
yeah, the official mics and the lights.
I know. Oh baby. Oh, this is a good one. I love this question. What advice did your parents give you as a kid that you're only now appreciating as an adult?
I think maybe not advice, but like definitely what my family did. I always joke that my stepfather was like owned a labor camp or something, because it was like every day after school we were doing something excruciating, you know. Of course, it really wasn't excruciating, but,
but when you're like
for me,
6.
when I was like, I wanted to go inside and play games or, you know, play with my friends, it was excruciating. But that hard work and taking care of his own place and his, you know, making sure that he did everything that he could to make his home and his family comfortable and well presented, I guess, instilled like some form of I don't know, hard work for that. Like I like to make sure everything's clean. Yeah. Oh, I'm not that handy, but I don't know. I'm I guess just that hard work is what was important to me, even though I didn't want to do it. Even if you don't want to do it, it still needs done, I think, is what it boils down to. And that came from me getting off the bus and having like a sigh of relief if my stepfather, who worked shift work, was working. I was like, yes!
Yeah, because it's staying sad.
Yeah,
I think I had the same thing with my father. My father was always working on cars and stuff like that. It's like never liked helping work on cars, like. But I mean, it's good to be able to know how to change your oil.
Yeah.
Like I mean, that's I could do that, but I don't have the tools for it. So like, either I can go. And my father, I'll go back to my parents, and he'll be happy to help me. Or happy to help me, but he would definitely help me out with that. Or I could just like go to the garage and it's like pay. I mean, it's probably what, $50, it's $20. I don't know.
I actually just got my oil changed at Walmart right before I came.
How much was
here.
it?
Yeah, it was like $35.
Okay, I'm doing that.
That's not bad.
It saves like 2 hours of me like.
It took 20 minutes, and I got some stuff I needed from Walmart. And
I'm doing that. I'm doing that today. That's I just really like that question, because I know it's like growing up, like I'm not gonna make my kids do that. I'm not gonna do this. But then when you get older, it's like actually, you know, that hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
So you get to see like what the effects of it were, and like wow, like.
Yeah, I guess that was hard because I didn't have like a with great power comes great responsibility type of advice, you know, that you didn't appreciate. But like it just had, you know, it had an impact. His work ethic and his, you know, being outside and getting stuff done is important. So
absolutely. We already asked your answer to this question, but I would like to say it just so people know this is a question I asked my guests. But what is the end goal? And you touch on that, being with like having a supportive family, being able to provide for your family, and living a life with your fiance or future wife. So this is a big one about what the podcast is all about, and this is a good question I like to touch on. It's how do you combat? I keep saying combat. How do you combat the fear of not being successful later in life?
Well, I think it sort of depends on what your success is, because I don't know. I guess it sort of depends on what your success is to you. For me, I know that I'm always going to have a support system with my family, And I think that's the main thing, is you need to have that support system. And if you don't, you can find it. You know what I mean? Like, families, even like estranged families, which I wouldn't say they were estranged, but like I've made progress with relationships that were strained, I think, in my family. And I think just knowing that no matter what, nobody's got it figured out yet. Even if you're, 60 years old and you're like, I haven't found success, like you still can, especially with the way modern medicine is. Who knows how long you're going to live,
Like, oh, you're in 50.
But yeah, I think the way I would remain confident in myself that I'll find success or combat that fear is just knowing that I have that support system. And I guess not everybody does. That's sort of a bad answer for this, but
right.
I know that my fiance will support me and continue to help me. So I still have that fear, like what if something huge happens or what if something devastating happens, but really all you can do is work as hard as you can do to get to where whatever your version of success is, you just have to work as hard as you can to get there. And you're always going to have that fear even when you're there. Even when you're at that peak of, okay, this is it, I made it, you're not going to realize you made it until after that. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's what at least one movie has taught me, that like you're not going to feel like you actually made it. So you just need to keep striving for more and just don't let the fear stop you from working hard
or something.
Yeah,
absolutely. I guess a good follow-up question with that would be, if you don't have a good support system, like what would you like recommend as far as finding one?
As far as finding one, geez, well, that's
Craigslist.
Yeah. I got Tinder, actually. No, I got
right swipe, everyone.
I got super lucky finding my support system and my family that has been a great support system that have been around since I was 0. But if you don't, I mean, the thing about finding somebody that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, like Madison, is, dang it.
That's the third time.
Crap, my fiance.
Shoot.
Just knowing that we share similar values and we don't agree on everything, but we have underlying principles and we have enough of a good time together that I don't know, it's not always happy, but it's always filled with love.
Right.
So I guess I'm not answering this one very well.
It's like, I'm just going to go around the question.
Yeah, because I don't even, I don't know.
Right.
How do you...
I think, it's
how do you
it's
find
a hard
that support
question.
system?
Like, I know what I do is, I've been so fortunate to, and I think it has to have something to do with being, a personable person. You have to be someone people like. So it's not like... And I mean, if anything, but that can kind of work against you too. If there's a problem I struggle with growing up, and even today, it's I really care about how people see me, and I really want to be liked by everyone, sort of deal. And I make sure to be the best person I can be all the time. And it's and at some point, it's are you actually being the best person you want to be? Because that's who you are, or are you just trying to manipulate people into But I mean, but you have to have good friendships, and how do you do that? You are a person, you're a likable character, and so you be a good person. So, and I mean, I have deeper reasons why I choose to be the person I am, and so that's a good thing. But just this past weekend, I had go ahead.
No, you're fine.
This past weekend, we just went, some friends that we've only got together a couple of times. We play D&D together, Dungeons and Dragons, and she's had a group every year going to Cooks Forest, like a night evening sort of camp thing. And I guess I really didn't know her the first 2 years I went. And they're really spread out every 4 years we do it, so it's so weird to think back. It's when you're driving back there, you feel like you were just there, but it was 4 years ago. But it was nice to this time we only had 6 people, but it was just nice to be with friends, and it just felt really close. So it's hard to find close friends to make you feel like a good person and stuff.
Well, and I think that what you said about being, even if it's not exactly your personality, just being happy and friendly, well that's infectious, So if you're happy and friendly enough to get into a room with somebody that's happy and friendly, then maybe you will become happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
that sort of grows on you, but I think it just depends. And back to the real question, I'll try to answer
Circle
it.
back
Yeah.
around.
If you're facing your fears, if you're like trying to deal with your fear of not being successful, it's all just pushing through. It's even if you're not having a good day, you got to put the smile on, you know, even if you're like just think everything's going horribly wrong, you have to keep working like it isn't. And that's still not that great of an answer, but that's what I'm settling
It's
on.
like,
just,
why did I have you?
just
Yeah.
keep going. Just,
Yeah.
you know, that Dory thing that she says.
Your arm
just
falls
keep
off.
swimming.
Don't worry about it. Leave it back. Leave it behind. What are the components of a meaningful life?
So for me,
Mm-hmm.
God, family, country.
Mhm.
That's the, you know,
Right.
my faith is important to me. Obviously, I've talked a lot about my family. That's important to me.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing's better than the U.S. of A.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah, here we are.
And I forget to ask this because I think I asked this question. I wrote this down for like a gag question. But on a scale from 1 to 10, how well do you have life figured out?
Oh, like one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, nobody's got it.
Yeah.
Even the smartest people in the world don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Exactly. And I always plan to like make that one of the first questions. And if they say anything like below an 8, it's like, well, thanks for coming. We're gonna end the show real short. But that's funny. But it's good to be like honest with yourself and like, yeah, is it a 1? And honestly, I don't even know what, like, if I thought about this, I'm not sure how I would rate my understanding of life. Like I'm still like, things seem to kind of just happen
Yeah.
just out of like luck almost. There's like, or I mean, I think it's maybe for a different reason, but
Yeah.
like if I didn't have a certain reason to believe my life is working out the way it is, like I don't know how it's just kind of working out. You know what I mean? So, but like the whole time you're on this roller coaster, like I don't have this figured out. Like it's pulling you, but then like you're still on the tracks
Yeah.
and you're still okay, and you're just like it just seems to be working, and I'm just like and you're just getting tugged and pulled. Man, that's a good metaphor. I came up
Yeah.
with that. Yeah, but. Like for me, good examples. Like I went to college for art, and people like laughing at the whole time. How you gonna make money doing art? It's like, in 5 years or 2 years later, taking like film and taking myself a lot of things off of YouTube, and overlapping some of that art aspect. I'm figuring out like I'm more comfortable getting thrown out there in the world and taking this thing to the next level. But right now I have a great job. I'm working actually on campus on ADOS orders. So right now I'm just kind of sticking with that because it's like, getting that paycheck every 2 weeks, Monday, every 1st and 15th, whatnot. And but once I'm done with this, I'll be able to hit the ground running and hopefully have some like finances build up, so pad the fall. But
I think one thing just to say that, you said about art and making money with that or whatever. I think that it's important to know, and this might be the worst advice ever. I'm not qualified to say this.
Be the worst advice.
But like, what I learned in college was, yeah, your degree matters in terms of like, who you are and what you
the qualifications.
or
or
something.
something.
It should matter, but at the same time, if you're worried about getting a job with a degree, like, you'll get a, you know what I mean? You'll get a job. As long as you have the degree, it's more showing that you know how to do the work. You know how to put in the time.
Good work ethic.
Good work ethic. Yeah.
Not being a jerk.
Right. Well, and with art, like, you're obviously super creative, which I am not. So
I appreciate that.
yeah, and you can, you would be able to find a job doing anything. I'm sure of it. As long as you go to school, you get a degree, you do your work, it shows people that you are a worker.
Putting the work in every day, because there's going to be those guys who don't put the work every day, and you're already ahead of them because you showed up today.
Yep.
So
if you choose a degree, it's not the end all be all. If somebody's going to say you're not going to make money on that, you can find a way.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, my dude, that is all I have. Do you have any?
Boy, 1 to 10, how'd I do?
Yeah.
It's okay if it's a 1.
It's not bad. No, I'll give you an 8. I have
An
nothing.
8?
You're the first one, so I need to give some slack for like if someone just blows out of the park.
Yeah.
So 8 is super generous. So I'm just
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, that's a B.
Yeah.
So like,
well, okay. In that sense,
I mean,
a 9.
okay. I'll take. Well, you know what? I'll take an 8.5.
Okay.
I'll take an 85.
Okay.
There we go.
That's good. That's good. It's still a B, but it's like,
Let's get closer.
yeah, right. Yeah, that's definitely all I have for you today. Thank you so much for being on the show. You had a lot of good things to say and things to think about. Hope that
Thank
marriage
you for
works out.
having me. I have no doubts.
I guess. So wait, I'll be there.
You will be. Yes, you will be there.
Yeah. So that's awesome. Well, do you have any last maybe words or anything? I think we wrapped up. I think we touched on everything. So
Yeah. I think the main thing, you got really close.
Oh no, I'm just being weird. I don't know why.
I don't know. I just.
It's always
I
a
don't know.
sad moment coming to the end of the show. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I thought we nailed that, and now it's like, now we have to say bye.
What do we do? Yeah.
I guess we just stop the recording.
Yeah, just do it.
All right.
All right, you can press it.
All right. Thanks for being on the show.
Hey, thank you.
Serving your spouse also means showing that you are committed to his or her well-being and flourishing. This kind of love is given when you seek to help your spouse develop gifts and pursue aspirations for growth. One of the greatest expressions of love is a willingness to change, to make a commitment to change attitudes or behaviors in yourself that trouble or hurt your spouse. There must be an ability to take correction and to be accountable for real concrete change. This kind of change is always hard and nearly impossible without the grace of God, but it is also one of the most powerful signs of love in a marriage. The idea of Zach saying, hey, we're going to focus on your career first. We're going to focus on you first, and then me. That's one way of showing his love to her and putting her needs before his own. But then technically, it's not really putting his needs before his own. It's putting her needs before theirs. Like it's working for them as a collective unit. So even if you have to put your own needs or desires or passions or whatever to the side, you're pushing yourselves forward as a unit, as one. So I just think that's really interesting. Also, I'm glad I got this episode out before this weekend, because actually they are getting married this weekend, and it's gonna be a blast. And I have the honor of shooting their wedding, so I'm looking forward to that. And this is Madison, Zach, that's just amazing. I'm really happy for you guys, and I can't wait to see you guys as one. Marriage is such a amazing thing. Wow, I can't even speak. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking before I just choke on my tongue. Zach, it was great having you over. Thanks for being on the show. Thanks for being on the podcast. I definitely want to have you on again later. As for everyone else, hit that like button if you like this video. If you want, you can share this. Sharing this video is the best way to get my show out there and to more eyes and listeners. This is a project that I'm working on and I am very passionate about. This is something that's very meaningful, and it's great to get new stories out. Also, if you know someone, or if you're that someone who would like to be on the show, if you like what we're about, then reach out to me in any way you see fit. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, even the comment sections. Here in Clarion, so if you're local in Clarion, we'll have to pen you in the schedule and have you on. I always love having new discussions, and it's always a blast meeting new people. So, with that being said, this is this week's episode. Hope you learned something from it. I know I did. Talking about marriage, it's very important to me, and whew. Have a nice day, and I'm gonna finish this coffee and stay awake for the rest of the day. Bye.